Ever wondered why we often act against our own best interests? This puzzling question introduces us to a complex psychological behavior known as self-sabotage. It's an enigma wrapped in the folds of our minds, often going unnoticed while quietly shaping our lives. Imagine self-sabotage as an invisible puppeteer, pulling the strings behind the scenes. It subtly influences our actions, decisions, and even emotions in ways that can limit our growth and potential. One moment, you're motivated to climb the ladder of success. The next, you're inexplicably pulling yourself down. From procrastination to self-doubt, from fear of success to the comfort of the familiar, these are all manifestations of self-sabotage. It's like a ghost in the machine of our minds, often leading us astray from our goals and aspirations. So are we just wired for self-destruction, or is there more to this phenomenon? Unraveling this enigma is not just fascinating, it's crucial to mastering our own lives. Let's dive deeper into the psyche to understand the roots of self-sabotage. We begin with the fear of failure, a common culprit. If we believe we're going to fail, we might unconsciously undermine our own efforts to avoid the bigger pain of disappointment. Imagine you're preparing for a marathon. If you convince yourself that you won't be able to finish, you might start skipping training sessions. That way, if you don't complete the race, you can blame it on your lack of preparation rather than your ability. Next, we have the fear of success, which might sound counterintuitive, but think about it. Success often comes with increased responsibilities and expectations, and that can be intimidating. Let's say you're offered a promotion at work. You might start to procrastinate on important tasks, causing your performance to drop. Unconsciously, you're trying to avoid the increased pressure that comes with success. Then there's the need for control. Sometimes we sabotage ourselves to maintain a sense of control over our circumstances. It's easier to control failure than to control success, which often feels unpredictable and unstable. For instance, you might intentionally arrive late for an interview for a job you want. Subconsciously, you're controlling the situation by ensuring you don't get the job, rather than leaving it to the uncertainty of the interview process. Finally, we encounter perceived fraudulence, or what's commonly known as imposter syndrome. This is when we feel like we don't deserve our achievements and fear being exposed as a fraud. For example, you might have just landed your dream job, but you constantly doubt your ability and think it's only a matter of time before everyone discovers you're not qualified. This fear can lead you to underperform or even quit the job. As we see, self-sabotage is not as simple as it seems, and it's deeply rooted in our psyche. Understanding these psychological roots can help us identify when we're on the path of self-destruction and guide us towards a healthier mindset. Did you know that the real culprit behind self-sabotage is often our subconscious mind? Quite a thought-provoking statement, isn't it? But let's take a moment to delve into this fascinating world of the subconscious mind. Akin to a vast, intricate library, our subconscious mind diligently stores away every single one of our experiences. The sights, sounds, emotions, and thoughts from every past experience are logged and archived. This vast repository of information is what shapes our belief system, our habits, and ultimately our actions. Now, consider this. What if some of these archived experiences were unpleasant or filled with failure? What if these experiences have subtly woven a thread of negativity into our belief system? You see, our subconscious mind, in its bid to protect us, often falls back on these past experiences to guide our present actions. And therein lies the root of self-sabotage. When faced with a new task or challenge, our subconscious mind might flash back to a similar instance in the past where we failed or faced rejection. It then instinctively nudges us towards self-defeating behaviors to avoid the perceived threat of failure or rejection. We might procrastinate, self-doubt, or even give up before we've truly begun. And while all this is happening, we're entirely oblivious to the fact that we're sabotaging ourselves. It's like an invisible puppeteer pulling the strings, influencing our actions without us even realizing it. This is why it's so crucial to understand and harness the power of our subconscious mind. With the right mindset and techniques, we can reprogram our subconscious, replacing those threads of negativity with positivity and resilience. Don't get me wrong, the subconscious mind isn't a villain in our story, it's a powerful and essential part of who we are. However, it's essential to understand its role and influence so we can steer it in a direction that supports our growth and success, rather than hinders it. The subconscious mind is a powerful force that can either propel us towards success or pull us into the vortex of self-sabotage. So let's choose to harness this force, steering our subconscious mind towards success and away from self-sabotage. So, how can we identify when we're sabotaging ourselves? Well, it's not always as clear-cut as you might imagine. However, there are some common signs that you can look out for. One of the most prevalent is procrastination. This isn't just about putting off tasks until the last minute, it's about consistently avoiding tasks that are important or beneficial to you. This might be because they're challenging or because they push you out of your comfort zone. So if you find yourself making excuses, or always saying, "I'll do it later," you may be sabotaging your own progress. Then we have self-medication. This could be anything from overeating to excessive drinking to reliance on substances. These are often ways of numbing emotions or avoiding dealing with problems. Yes, they might provide temporary relief, but in the long run, they're detrimental to your health and well-being, and they prevent you from confronting the issues that need your attention. Next, let's talk about negative self-talk. This is when you constantly criticize or belittle yourself, often to the point where you start to believe these negative perceptions as truth. You might tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never succeed," or "I don't deserve happiness." This kind of self-talk can be incredibly damaging and is a classic sign of self-sabotage. Recognizing these signs in yourself is not always easy, but it's crucial. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly you can see what's been tripping you up. Once you're aware of these behaviors, you can start to question them, challenge them, and ultimately change them. Remember, self-sabotage is not a life sentence. It's a pattern of behavior that you've learned over time. And just like any learned behavior, it can be unlearned. The first step is to recognize that you're doing it. Recognizing self-sabotage is the first step towards reclaiming control over our lives. And it's a step that you have the power to take. Don't let self-sabotage keep you from realizing your full potential. Instead, let's use this knowledge as a tool for growth and transformation. Now that we know what self-sabotage is and how it works, how can we overcome it? Self-sabotage is a formidable foe, but it's not invincible. Overcoming it is not only possible, but entirely within your reach, and the roadmap to defeating it begins with self-awareness. Like a detective, you need to investigate your thoughts, behaviors, and habits. Analyze your actions and reactions. Are they serving your best interests or holding you back? Once you've identified the patterns of self-sabotage, you've taken the first step towards conquering it. Next, harness the power of positive self-talk. It's easy to fall into the trap of negative self-talk, but remember, your mind believes what you tell it, so tell it good things. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I'm capable and I can handle this." This shift in mindset can be a powerful tool in your arsenal against self-sabotage. However, remember that self-compassion is just as crucial. Be kind to yourself. You're not perfect, and that's all right. Give yourself the grace to make mistakes and learn from them. This isn't about blaming yourself, but about understanding and growth. Sometimes the roots of self-sabotage run deep, entangled with past traumas or deeply entrenched beliefs. In such cases, seeking professional help can be beneficial. Therapists and counselors are trained to help you untangle these knots. They can provide you with tools and techniques to cope with self-sabotage and guide you on your journey to self-improvement. Overcoming self-sabotage is a journey, not a destination. It's a continual process of growth, learning, and self-discovery. It may be challenging, but remember, each step you take is a victory. Each time you choose to act in your best interest, each time you refuse to let self-sabotage dictate your actions, you're winning. So start today. Start now. Take those first steps towards overcoming self-sabotage. Change won't happen overnight, but with perseverance, you'll see progress, you'll see change, and most importantly, you'll see yourself grow. Remember, the power to overcome self-sabotage lies within you. Let's take a moment to summarize what we've learned today. We started by peeling back the enigma of self-sabotage, revealing it as a complex yet understandable phenomenon. We then delved into the psychology of self-sabotage, acknowledging how our fears, insecurities, and limiting beliefs can often lead us to undermine our own success. Next, we explored the subconscious mind's role, the silent puppeteer pulling the strings behind our actions. We learned that our subconscious can often harbor deeply rooted self-sabotaging tendencies. Recognizing the signs of self-sabotage was our next step, emphasizing the importance of self-awareness in this journey. Finally, we discussed strategies for overcoming self-sabotage, highlighting the power of self-reflection, self-compassion, and cognitive behavioral techniques. What we've uncovered is that understanding self-sabotage is not just about avoiding self-destruction, it's about unlocking our full potential. So let's carry this knowledge forward, using it to empower ourselves and those around us.